This is a picture that was taken in the Indian state of Bihar. This is an image which shocked the people of Bihar, including the political class as well. The point is that this image was taken outside that building. That building is the venue for an important end-of-program examination for high school students, and the results will determine whether they go on to the next phase of education. So they're in there doing a standardized test. The people clinging to the building are their parents, who are handing cheat sheets in through the window to make sure they have the best opportunity to pass the test. What you can't see are the people on the ground, the other parents, who are milling around waiting for their chance to get onto the wall. I'm not being openly critical of that, because that's the game they're in. But it's an appalling game to be in, isn't it? You have all these people with brilliant capacities, and it's all being turned on a particular test. Now, the reason I don't think we should get too smug about Bihar is we're doing exactly the same thing here, except it's horizontal. Our kids are being pumped through these systems in Europe, in Asia, in many parts of America, and our parents here, and they are figuratively also being driven up the wall. The problem is this, that our current systems of education were never designed or intended to cultivate the great array of individual talent. On the contrary, they were conceived with a very particular view of intelligence in mind, a cultural conception of intelligence, and a very particular sense of economic purpose in mind. There is something in the system of education which hinges on the expectation of higher education. The whole system of K-12 education in America is now predicated on the ambition of going to college. I think this is a very corrupting influence on the whole character of education. The idea that you're not educated unless you get a college degree. It'll only really be solved by rethinking what higher education is about and how best it can offer the sorts of skills and aptitudes that people need. The truth, I think, is that human intelligence isn't marked by conformity, naturally. It's characterized by diversity. And it happens, therefore, that if you have a system of education that's based on a narrow view of ability, on a conformist view of ability, people who don't fit that mold will think they are the problem and will naturally feel that they are eccentric. And so we end up inventing remedial programs for people who just aren't interested in the main diet that's offered at school. We have a dropout rate, I don't like the term dropout truthfully, but a non-graduation rate in America from high schools that varies, according to state, between 15 and 40% of non-graduation rates. You know, I mean, if you've got an average of 20% of kids not completing high school, you can't blame the kids at this point, can you? This is the system that's at fault. The evidence everywhere is if you refresh your conception of intelligence so it corresponds to how people really manifest it, then all kinds of people who are excluded become included, empowered, and engaged in a way they didn't before.